We know it's up to us, and so does he. Please join me in welcoming President Barack Obama.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, Glasgow. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, a good day to you. I have produced two videos on public speaking. One is on Michelle Obama and the second one is on Ivanka Trump. You know that both these ladies are very famous in the world today. They are famous not only because of the positions that they hold in the society, but also because of the speeches that they have made. You know that their speeches are being followed by a big number of people in the world today. The particular people who are highly interested in come to know how to make good speech writing in public. So today I'm going to introduce to you yet another interesting, eloquent, very famous speaker, and he is Barack Obama. Barack Obama has made a big number of speeches at different places when he was the president and even after that. And when you watch his speeches, when you listen to him, that you can find that he uses a big number of techniques just to get the attention from the audience and just to involve the audience emotionally right in his speeches and to convey or get his message across to the public. And let's see what these features are one by one.
My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats, went to school in a tin roof shack. His father, my grandfather, was a cook, a domestic servant to the British. But my grandfather had larger dreams for his son. Through hard work and perseverance, my father got a scholarship to study in a magical place, America, that shone as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before. While studying here, my father met my mother. She was born in a town on the other side of the world, in Kansas. Her father worked on oil rigs and farms through most of the Depression. The day after Pearl Harbor, my grandfather signed up for duty, joined Patton's army, marched across Europe. Back home.
Good. The second technique we pay now attention to is repetition and parallelism. Now, you know what repetition is, but what is this parallelism? In parallelism, you repeat certain words, phrases, and the clauses so that you can get the attention from the audience, or just to highlight certain point that you have in your speech, or just to emphasize something. Right. And on the other hand, you see now this technique gives sort of a rhythmic style to your speech. Now, the rhythm of your speech matters a lot. Now, this rhythm helps you to involve the audience, right, in your speech. And the other thing is, you see, now it calls to action. In that sense, you see, now when you talk to the people, now you give certain views to the people, certain beliefs to the people, and the audience, you see, now would listen to you and try to act and adapt accordingly. So because of that, you see, now this repetition and the parallelism, this is a very important technique that you too can use in your speeches.
Yo, they said this day would never come. They said our sights were set too high. They said this country was too divided, too disillusioned to ever come together around a common purpose. But on this January night, at this defining moment in history, you have done what the cynics said we couldn't do.
Yes, the third technique that we are discussing is inclusive language. So, what is meant by inclusive language? Have you noticed Obama using words like we, us, ours in his speeches very often? Why does he do that? So this is what's known as inclusive language. You know that we are living in a multicultural society, and the world and the community in the world is becoming more and more multicultural. In a multicultural society, you can find different ethnic groups living together. So to bring in a social cohesion or an integration among these different nationalities or ethnic groups is the responsibility of a leader and even you. So Obama uses this inclusive language in a wonderful way so that he can sort of bring in social harmony and sort of integration, a cohesion and unity, right, among the people whom he addresses.
On not simply because of the skill or vision of those in high office, but because we, the people, have remained faithful to the ideals of our forebears and true to our founding documents. So it has been, so it must be with this generation of Americans. That we are in the midst of crisis is now well understood. Our nation is at war against a far-reaching network of violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but also our collective failure to make hard choices and prepare the nation for a new age. Homes have been lost, jobs shed, businesses shuttered. Our health care is too costly, our schools fail too many, and each day brings further evidence that the ways we use energy strengthen our adversaries and threaten our planet. These are the indicators of crisis, subject to data and statistics. Less measurable, but no less profound, is a sapping of confidence across our land. A nagging.
Yes, then it's about rhetorical questions. What are rhetorical questions? Rhetorical questions are the questions you ask not to get an answer, not to expect an answer from your audience or from the listener, but to make an impact on them, on the audience. Obama uses a big number of rhetorical questions in his speeches. Now let's see how he has used them. Here are some of the rhetorical questions that he has asked, and the speeches he made. The years are given here. The first one you see now is taken from the presidential victory speech. The year was 2008. You see, what if we could come together? You see, what a powerful rhetorical question is it? And these rhetorical questions are very powerful to make an impact on the audience. Now let's go to the second. If not us, who? If not now, when? Next one. What required of us now? Are we really willing to accept this as the new normal? Why should we be satisfied with the status quo? What will our answer be? Now, all the questions are very powerful questions. Now, these questions are generally known as rhetorical questions. So, even in your speeches, if you can ask rhetorical questions, there's a greater possibility for you to make a big impact on your audience. Yes, and finally, it's hope and optimism. Barack Obama is such a person who always has the optimistic views about the world. He has never been pessimistic. In his speeches, you have noticed he tries to encourage the people, motivate the people, inspire the people. he gives hope to the people. And when the people listen to him, people build confidence in the president and also in themselves as well. And they get the view and they get the inspiration, then they can go forward and they can do something better and they can become very fruitful people. Now let's listen to this speech done by him.
Scripture, the time has come to set aside childish things. The time has come to reaffirm our enduring spirit, to choose our better history, to carry forward that precious gift, that noble idea passed on from generation to generation, the God-given promise that all are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness. In reaffirming the greatness of our nation, we understand that greatness is never a given. It must be earned. Our journey has never been one of shortcuts or settling for less. It has not been the path for the faint-hearted, for those who prefer leisure over work or seek only the pleasures of riches and fame. Rather, it has been the risk-takers, the doers, the makers of things, some celebrated, but more often men and women obscure in their labor, who have carried us up the long, rugged path towards prosperity and freedom. For us, they packed up their few worldly possessions and traveled across oceans in search of a new life. For us, they toiled in sweatshops and settled the West, endured the lash of the whip, and plowed the hard earth. For us, they fought and died in places like Concord and Gettysburg, Normandy and Quezon. Time and again, these men and women struggled and sacrificed and worked till their hands were raw so that we might live a better life. They saw America as bigger than the sum of our individual ambitions, greater than all the differences of birth or wealth or faction. This is the journey we continue today. We remain